Good morning. Hello to you. Good morning and welcome on Instagram. Good morning to you on Facebook. It is time for Tea with Tanja Lee. That means we provide free leading life and business coaching right here for you in your screen, in your hands, on Insta and on Facebook. It's Monday, the 29th of June. How are you? Type in one word to describe how you are feeling right here, right now. I'm feeling extremely grateful because I have a lovely guest visitor here over the weekend, my beautiful cousin Suzanne. Come and stick your head in, Suzanne, and say good morning before we kick off.
Yep.
So those of you who tune in on a regular basis, come and say hi. This is my beautiful cousin, Suzanne. She's the CEO of Caligari Foods, and yesterday we cooked up our storm, my darling.
Just a bit.
I made two soups. We had soup. We had beautiful bread with garlic and potato.
What else?
We had
gnocchi,
miso eggplant.
We had miso eggplant. We had gnocchi.
Homemade pumpkin gnocchi, beautiful radicchio salad with
amazing.
fennel and blood orange, all good stuff. So if you want yummy, wholesome, in your tummy, happy, healthy food, please connect with my beautiful cousin here, Suzanne from Caligari Foods. You can check her out on Suzanne Caligari on Insta. Love you.
Love you too. Now I can actually watch you live.
Literally live. So feeling really grateful because there's something beautiful about having yummy time with beloved family and friends. So I hope you had a gorgeous weekend. Cheers. Of course, as we say, please fill your cup with love and go brew you. Now, this morning, Monday, is all about Intentional Monday. So type in one word to describe how you're feeling today, right now, and also start to think about what would you love. So Intentional Monday is where I provide free leading life coaching to you. We choose someone live, typically on Instagram, so they can go, Amy's feeling flat. Okay, Amy, g'day. Tell me, what's your intention for today? What would you love? Where would you love a breakthrough? For those of you on Facebook too, please feel free to write in. Good morning, Greg. How are you, champ? Just let me know what the reception's like on Facebook this morning. So, I don't have an agenda. I don't have predetermined intentions. I literally am here, right now, live for you. Where are you stuck? Where are you oscillating? Where do you feel like you just lack mojo or motivation? Over it at work, says Erin. I understand. Amy's feeling flat. Erin's over it at work. Brendan Sarif, g'day, buddy. How's it going? How's all things family growing in the house going? Good morning, Christy. K for cat is pumped. Now, whether you're stuck or oscillating, or whether you're feeling on fire and you want to go to the next level, this morning is all about you. Plant-based plate, calm. She's feeling calm, good. What would you love? My friends on Instagram, where can I be helpful for you? Where do you want to break through? I have to pick myself up, says Amy. All right, so Amy says she wants to pick herself up. Amy, are you willing to go live on the camera so I can provide some coaching? Is there any, it's all good here. Reception is great. Awesome. G'day, Joe. Amy, do you want a hand this morning? But I need you to get specific. What exactly is your intention for today so we can be of service to you? And of course, you're going to get supported by this wonderful live community. Suzanne, who's just sitting here. She's been supported by Christy from A Bucket Full of Rainbows. Recently, we've had accountability buddies take care of each other. Amy's saying, sorry, not now. That's okay. Honor your truth. Honor your truth. Good morning, Diane. Hey, great to have you here. Need to get fit, says Diane. Awesome. Yes, I understand that one too. So if you're on Instagram, because I'm happy to do live coaching where you join me, I would love to make some sales. Great. Christy wants to make some sales. Awesome. That's a great intention. You got your website now. Kathy, good morning, everyone. Catherine. You don't have to go live, by the way, if you don't want to, but it is cool. It's a bit more interactive. So if you're on Facebook, type in your question. Where can I help you? Where are you stuck? We've got people feel flat. Is Suzanne here with me right now? Yes, Christy, she's right here with me. She just came into the screen, had a cuddle. She's just sitting having a cuppa. Let's go. Fast game's a good game. Where are you stuck? Where can I help you? Write it in. We don't have to go live. Kelly's feeling optimistic. Good morning, Margaret. Where can I be of service to you? Please type your intention in. It can be health, wealth, fitness, relationship, parenting, partnering, leadership, communication. Morning, everyone that's joining. We've got people wanting to get fit. We've got people feeling flat. Some just type in a few more and let's see. Let me choose something that I think is going to be of great service to the whole community. I'm going to give you a couple of moments. Oh my God, beautiful. Hello, Suzanne. I have not sold one thing since launching on my website. That's okay. It takes time, honey. A website doesn't actually mean people are going to come and buy stuff. You now have to have a communication and marketing strategy to let people know they can go to your website. Kelly, can you give us advice on how to stay in our flow? Okay, good morning, Amanda. Yes, I'm feeling a bit depressed today, Amy. I hear you, I understand. Kelly, okay, so who else could do with a hand around how you stay in flow? How do you stay in your flow? How do you stay in your mojo? Just send me some emojis or yes, if that would be useful. I have spoken about this before and given some strategies. So let me so I'm going to choose that one. Amy, hopefully if you're feeling flat and depressed, you're going to hear something for yourself. Plant-based plate is giving me the thumbs up. Okay. K for cat is also wanting to know how to stay in flow. Jenny, yes, we're giving the big thumbs up. Okay. So first of all, thanks for tuning in. Oh, by the way, I should say, that for those of you who wrote in concerned about Kaya, again, my eldest daughter, who we went into hospital Thursday night after the RAB Awards and didn't get home till Friday morning. She's doing much better, thank you. She had blood tests, she had x-rays, she had COVID tests, all came back negative. They just think that she's got some significant lung tissue damage from the pneumonia and whatever virus she got in Thailand, so it knocked her around pretty hard. But I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for tuning in and actually sharing your concern. Thank you, Rick. Lovely to have you on here live. So, thank you for your love and concern. So Catherine's saying, I'm stuck with my daughter. When I was in hospital after heart surgery, there was an argument and I'd had enough. So I was very truthful to her, and now she says she doesn't know how to move in from there. I'm assuming that's what you're saying, to move in from there. Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear you're stuck, Catherine. Feel free to DM me on that one. I am going to answer Kelly's question this morning around how do you get back in your flow, and here is my tip. So I'm glad to hear that you're okay, Catherine, from your heart surgery, but feel free to DM me. So a few thumbs up for the question, how do I stay in my flow? Okay. And again, I'm going to share some strategies as I always do. And for those of you who are on Facebook, please feel free to type in anything that I share that resonates with you, that you think would be a really good thing to capture. Type it in. Same thing on Instagram, because there's one thing to hear the information, but when you connect with the information, you have a kinesthetic response, you have a deeper association with the information. So, so feel free to type something in. And I also just want to start with my gratitude for you being here. And again, I'm going to share some strategies, but before I share strategies, I'm going to share the distinction that definition is decisive. Now consider that in your life, both personally and professionally, you can be in one of two places. You can be in a place of empowerment, in your heart, in your creative mojo, really focused, present, purposeful, on track, life's great, you're on fire. And then you can be disempowered, which a few of you have written in this morning to say that's where you are. Disempowered, flat, not in your flow, not feeling it, in a funk, frustrated, disappointed, depressed even, says Amy. So they're the two places we can typically be in. If we want to simplify it even more, we're in fear or we're in love. We can be in one of those two different places within the same half an hour, within the same minute. Life can be happening as many of us feel to us, but I like to consider that life is happening for us. So number one, no matter where you are in this session or on this call, please, sorry, Suzanne's just tuning in live, so just put your mute on, love, because you ain't getting more live than this, honey. Oh my God, I look like my Nana Elsie right now with her rosy cheeks. So tune into... tune into whether you're feeling empowered or disempowered. If you're disempowered, which a few of you who've said, there's going to be a reason for that. There's a reason for your flatness, your depressedness, your funkness, your feeling stuckness. Now, you want to have a look at what is the reason that you're in that place. It could be a conversation that's happened with your daughter. It could be the challenges of COVID and how it's impacting your wealth or your financial flow. It could be like, if you can type in what is the source of your flatness, that would be helpful so I can speak specifically to you as well. Guess it's just precious, says Amy, sending, okay, beautiful. Now, so first of all, tune in and type in with me so I can see where everyone's at. Are you feeling empowered or disempowered? And what is it the source of your disempoweredness? Type it in. What is it the source of your disempowered? So finding your flow is about reconnecting back to that space of and place of empowered. What does it mean to be in flow for you? If I ask you, what does it mean to be in flow? For me, it's I'm unstoppable. I'm in my heart. I'm present. I'm feeling grateful. I'm feeling productive. I'm moving forward, and my life is gaining momentum. When we're not in flow, we're typically, as I've said a couple of times, disempowered. We procrastinate. We avoid. We hide. We put things off. We have a negative self-talk. We beat ourselves up. We're not necessarily taking action on the things that really matter to us. All of that sort of stuff. Does that make sense? I highly recommend daily walk and exercise, eating healthy. Yes. Thank you, says Kelly. So Amy's feeling disappointment, Katie's feeling empowered, Catherine's feeling flat regarding my daughter in the future, if there is one. Of course there's a future. My tip to you, Catherine, is remain hopeful, remain in the possibility that it's possible. I've got my flow flowing, says Kate. To be in flow for me means I'm in my heart space. Exactly. I have energy when I'm in flow. K for cat. Yes, exactly. Hey Melissa, great to have you here as always. Melissa's feeling disempowered. Okay, I'm feeling in flow and empowered. Great. So no matter where you are, this is for you. Number one, if you're feeling empowered, you can apply these things too. If you're feeling disempowered, have a look at what is the source of your disempoweredness. Now, typically, when we're disempowered, we can be in upset. And upset is usually caused by one of three things. So for those of you who've got fingers to keyboard, please write these down. Number one, an unmet expectation. You've had an expectation of yourself, something, or someone else, and it hasn't been met. That's going to make us upset. So whether it's a project, whether it's a relationship, whether it's an outcome, whether it's a specific thing, if you have an expectation that hasn't been met, you will be upset. That will take you out of flow if you let it. Number two, withheld communication. Something has happened with someone or a situation and you're not speaking your truth and you're in a space of disempoweredness. You're not expressing yourself. That'll have you upset. And number three is interrupted intention. You've intended to achieve something out there for yourself in your life and it hasn't happened. COVID's a big interrupted intention for many people, but you can choose to see it as it's happening to us or it's happening for us. One will have you in disempowered and one will have you empowered. Amy's saying, I'm usually very positive and energetic person. I just want to go somewhere. Melissa, family health and not known yet what the future holds, unable to plan and fix things. Yes. And if COVID is teaching us anything, it is the power of acceptance and surrender. I cannot give you any deeper insight than that. You're going to get massively out of flow and upset if you resist what is. When we resist what is, we are out of flow to source, to life, and we are out of congruency with what is. It's like when people, as I've said before, they go and order their coffee. The barista says, "How are you?" And they go, this is disappointing. This day's disappointing. And because it's raining. Well, it's winter. Winter is doing what winter does. So when we frame it as disappointing or frustrating, we're not accepting that winter is in flow. Winter is doing what winter does. It's our perception, it's our projection that determines our relationship with the experience that we're having or not. So, empowered or disempowered. So for those of you who are disempowered, where are you at? Have you had an unmet expectation? Do you have withheld communication and you're not speaking your truth? Or have you had an interrupted intention? Amanda saying unmet expectation, withheld communication. Oh, she's typing it in. All three, says Christina. I hear you, honey. Plant husband got stood down last week, but now is at home making me pancakes. Awesome. What a great hubby he is. When you get lemons, make lemonade, as they say. Steve Wolashenko, good morning. Good to see the fellas in the house this morning. So, what's going on? Where are you out of flow? Unmet expectation, withheld communication, or interrupted intention? Type it in and let's have a look. Let's see what's going on. Now, once you're at the source of that, you can then take action. You can acknowledge if it's unmet expectation, you can acknowledge, I had an expectation that was going to happen by then and it hasn't. And what can you do to accept it? What can you do to allow it? Because when we resist what is, that will be the first thing to take us out of flow. If you lose someone close to you, if a relationship ends, if you get on the scales and you're 5 kilos heavier, whatever occurs, when you resist what is, it will take you out of flow. So Kelly, where are you feeling out of flow because of maybe resisting what is? Hey, Steve. All three communications, says Brooke. G'day, Brooke. Great to have you here. Morning, Antoinette. Now, if you've got unmet expectations, where can you just go, okay, and resolve it for yourself by acknowledging you had an expectation that's not met and that you just need to accept what is and surrender to what is. Yes, don't have to resist what is, Amy. Exactly. Otherwise, you're in force the whole way. Amy's got capital letters. I am resisting. Usually that's what it is. That's why I go there straight away. So take a look. Now, B, withheld communication. All three for you too, Jenny. I hear you. Good morning, Brooke. With B, withheld communication, that will take you out of flow because you're suppressing your truth. You know, I've said many times, one of my favorite quotes is, speak your truth even if your voice shakes. It's all about kind of claiming back your power, but there's a conscious way to do that. It's not about projecting and blame and shaming others that have, disappointed or have you feeling frustrated, because people can't make you feel anything without your permission. How you respond is your response. So if you're saying to someone, you make me so angry, no, you're being triggered by their behaviors. It's not them as a person. You're being triggered by their behaviors, and that's your response. So please be responsible for the responses that you're having. And if you're withholding communication, you're going to get out of flow because you're disconnected from yourself and others. So if that's occurring for you, if you've got a breakdown with your daughter, don't worry about trying to get it right. Don't worry about trying to fix it. Just get in communication and say, okay, declare your commitment. I'm committed to having a beautiful relationship with you. I'm committed to connection. And when this happened, it made me feel really disconnected and frustrated. And I'm not committed to staying there. So are you open to having a conversation around how we can work together to get complete? And completion is about when you have the ability to sit with another's perspective and you have the space and grace to share your perspective and both come together and be heard. And can you be generous enough to sit with another, even if you are triggered and disappointed, and actually be present to what's there for them? That takes a level of mastery and skill. Hold in the anger and think about what you say. Well, you could do that, or you could just witness the anger. I was talking to someone over the weekend about anger, and she was asking me, how do I move through my anger? And I said, consider you just be in it. You accept it. You allow it, you feel it, you let it have a voice, you let it express itself. Because if you keep pushing down what is, and if you don't express yourself in a healthy, conscious way that's not projected on others, it is going to just store there and either fester and get you out of flow in your health and immune system, or it's going to come out unconsciously and you're going to erupt, which may not be the greatest thing to happen. Does that make sense? So don't hold the anger in, allow it to be there, but hold it with deep consciousness and present, and ask it as if it was a child. What is it that you need to say? Where do you need to be heard? How can I be of service to you? Amy's saying, I am able to do that. The problem is dealing with someone that's totally out of your control. Yes, most people are out of our control because we cannot control another, but we can control how we engage and interact with them. And then C is, of course, unmet or interrupted intention. This is when, as you're saying, Amy, something is completely outside of your control and you are impacted by it, something or someone that you just got to surrender to. Most of us, though, we like to be in control, we like to fix things, we like to know that we are in charge of life, and the universal source, God, Allah, Vishnu, Krishna, whatever you, or faith, whatever you believe in, will teach us otherwise. There's many things that will happen for us in life, but it is up to us to see it as either a lesson or a blessing. Pam sees how to let go of anger towards a person who has passed. Oh, how do we move past this? It always comes down to two paths: fear or love, anger or love, frustration or love. If you can put your hand on your heart and ask, what would you love, without not suppressing your own authentic emotion and feeling, by the way. I'm not a big believer that you have to kind of pooper scoop everything and, make everything okay for others at the cost of your own fulfillments. This is about you being conscious that if you have emotions that are coming up, whether they be flatness, depression, upset, anger, that is a response that you are having. And typically, from what I know and study, the response is not new. It's typically triggering something that's old, that is unresolved. And so it is our responsibility to get present to what that feeling is. And that's why the only way through is through. Connect to that emotion. So if it's someone that's passed, I'm a really big fan of writing stuff down, getting it off out of your head and off your chest, and get it onto paper so you have a disassociated relationship with what's going on. I'm going to ask Suzanne, can you do me a favor and just please pull that blind down, because the sun's kind of fully glaring in my face. Catherine's saying, I have told her how I feel and I've listened to what she said, but she holds back and doesn't want to share feeling with me. Thank you. Yes, that's better. I was like a patchwork quilt. Thank you, my love. Catherine, you need to just be patient, my love. Everyone processes it in their own time. She just needs to know that you are there for her. She needs to know that you're committed and you're a bridge and you're not going anywhere. That when she feels that anchor in you not going anywhere, I've navigated this with my own teenage daughters over the last 12 months with different things. When they feel you there, when they feel you're not going anywhere and you're also honoring your truth, in their own time they come around. You just have to be a clearing for a clearing. And what I mean by that is energetically in your field, you're either radiating and broadcasting a frequency of anger, disappointment, frustration, upset, annoyedness, and that's what you're broadcasting, or you're broadcasting the willingness to forgive, the willingness to surrender, the willingness to let go, and the willingness to love. People can feel what you're broadcasting, as does the universe. So if you're saying words that you want to be committed and you want to be connected, you want to heal, but your energy is broadcasting something else, you're inconsistent and incongruent with that you're communicating you would desire. Does that make sense? Yes, I agree. Time with myself to work through this, accept time away. G'day, Mark. Thanks for tuning in. This is something I don't have now. Thank you, Brooke. How to let go of. Okay, so if someone that's gone, write it out, and please give yourself permission to fully broadcast your truth. It's not in order to fix anything. It's in order to make space. So the three causes so we're either disempowered or empowered. Typically we're disempowered because something's happening and we're upset to a degree. If we're upset, there's three causes, three pathways you can go down: unmet expectation, withheld communication, interrupted intention. Which one is it for you? And what can you do to shift from fear to love? And if it's involving somebody else, please be conscious and do the work on yourself first before you blame another, because when we point the finger at others, there's always three fingers pointing back at us, called me, myself, and I. Does that make sense? Catherine, what are you hearing for yourself about that? What are you getting for yourself about those different pathways to go down? I'm curious. Let me know. I'm just going to go up and have a look at a few more comments. Tell me, guys, what are you hearing about this share? What can you hear for yourself and where you are and where you may be stuck? Catherine, what did you hear for yourself? As I said before, Kelly, Lighthouse Kelly, where are you at around flow and what I've shared so far? And have I given you a space or a doorway to walk through that you can, can navigate for yourself? Melissa, when you're feeling depleted, tips please. What are the most effective way to charge when when time is not your own? To recharge when time is not your own, honey, make time. If you have a belief system that time is not your own, you better believe you're going to hang out in victim town to time, because if your belief is time is not your own, then you won't have any time for yourself. Strategies are like icing over a poo pie unless you change the belief system. So Melissa, if time is not your own, then you need to reclaim time. You need to create an empowered relationship with time. Kelly, I'm curious to hear, what did you hear for yourself, my love, in what I've shared so far? So Melissa, create some time for yourself. If that means you've got to get up early, if that means you've got to go to bed later, if that means you need to carve half an hour for yourself, believe me, if I didn't do that, I would be a basket case. I must make time for myself. Kelly, my flow is great. It's amazing what has moved and shifted in my life. Okay, awesome. So that's an insight. So disempowered to empowered. So that's the first thing. Be mindful of where you're coming from and what you're broadcasting. Then, of course, some strategies. I repeat these on a weekly basis. And so sometimes people hear the same thing and they're hearing the information, but they're not applying the information. Does that make sense? So I'm going to always repeat the same thing. I'm going to repeat what are the things that I know absolutely work. It all comes down to the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod Practicing Savers. Meditation, detaching from the 60 to 90,000 thoughts we have a day, which are the 90% of the same thoughts we had the day before and 85% are negative. Detaching from automatic thinking. B, affirmation, affirming that you have enough time, affirming that you're clearing for possibility and transformation, affirming that you're a beautiful work in progress and you're about to get back into flow. Visualizing you in flow, visualizing you with time, visualizing you having a beautiful conscious conversation with your daughter where you heal the past, visually connecting with what you see for yourself and what's possible for your future. E, exercise. You want to get into flow, move your body. That's the thing. You cannot change your state in a space of low dopamine and serotonin. You have to move your body. You have to get out there and shimmy and shake and de-stress. That is the best way possible. And if you want to do it even better, put on some cranking music, create a killer playlist and put that on, and it will break and change your state. That is one of the best things I can share that you do. Of course, then you've got reading or podcasts, listening to things that are going to fuel inject what's possible for you rather than what's probable, and what's going to have you not in flow. And of course, S is for scribing in your gratitude journal. So savers, silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, or writing in your gratitude journal. That is the Saver's Way, thanks to Hal Elrod and the Miracle Morning, where he studied the most successful people on the planet and what is it that they do, and he diluted it down to those 6 things. So if you're watching this and you're out of flow, please be responsible for the energy you're broadcasting. Have a look at the reason. Is it unmet expectation, withheld communication, interrupted intention, and what strategy, and shift your thinking, and what strategy could you apply out of those 6 practices? And if you want to choose just one because you have limited time right now, my recommendation would be exercise, because it de-stresses, defrags the body, raises your dopamine and serotonin, and you cannot not help but feeling better. Catherine saying, I love being in flow and I do know the difference. I think I become desperate for her just to love me for who I am. Yeah, so this, and thank you for your honesty. Catherine, this is not about your daughter. This is about you. And one of the best resources I can give you around conscious parenting and how to create a beautiful relationship with your children is my girlfriend Lael Stone. She has a great podcast called The Aware Parent or Aware Parenting. Please look up Lael Stone on Instagram. I have done an interview with her before, but our children are just wonderful reflections of where we are unconscious. Believe me. And if you are triggered around your kids, it's because you've got work to do and your little self has something to say or something to heal. And that's the beauty that our children provide for us if we're willing to be responsible and not blame them for our dysfunctional state. What I know is that I'm still a pleaser, and that is when I am falling out of my flow. Yes, Kelly, thank you. You have such great self-awareness, my love. What will have you out of flow is if you're disempowered, seeking validation, people-pleasing, and not honoring your truth. It is a way we get a quick fix. We feel good about ourselves when we are in acts of service and we're doing something for others. Why? Because we get immediate love. We get gratitude, we get appreciation, and we get thank you. Nothing wrong with that, especially if that's your love language. That's Suzanne's love language, that's my love language. When we're in flow, we're in service, and it just makes us happy. But if you're doing that to get validation and love, then you're going to be empty because you've got to be responsible for filling your own cup up first so you can giveth what spilleth over, if we want to get all Shakespearean. Amy, does that make sense to you? Melissa, does that provide something for you, my love? So, if you want to get in flow, take a look. Am I disempowered or empowered? Typically disempowered. What is the source of my disempowered? Did you have an unmet expectation, withheld communication, interrupted intention, whatever that is? Take a look and see what is the lesson here, what is the blessing here, and then how can I get into action to shift from a disempowered to an empowered state. And one way you can do that, as I said, is to move your body. Any questions on anything that I've shared on that? Thanks for asking the question, and thanks for all of your engagement. And I want to know, what are you going to do with this information now? So what did you hear? Please type it in on Facebook and Instagram. What did you hear for yourself, and what are you going to do as a result? That's Amy's love language as well. Yeah, but you got to do it consciously, my love. Otherwise you'll deplete yourself. What did you hear for yourself as a result? And what are you going to do? You're very welcome, Pam. I appreciate your acknowledgement and appreciation. If you're feeling a victim to anything, it's because you have a disempowered relationship to it. You are responsible for your experience. You're responsible for your time. You're responsible for your mind, your thoughts, your health, your wealth. You are not responsible for the reactions of others. You can influence them for sure, but don't try to fix them. People don't want to be fixed. Implement it. Amy, what exactly are you going to implement, my love, before we wrap up? Remember, as we are getting people's lessons for today and what they're going to do to engage it, Melissa says, I need to accept what is and change my attitudes toward time. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Great distinction. Accept what is. Accept what is. Eckhart Tolle talks about this so much. Presence. When you are not in the moment, you're not accepting what is. When you're frustrated and anxious, you're in the past or the future. You're not accepting what is. And when you are in the moment and you're frustrated, you're not accepting what is. Frustration comes out of not accepting what is. We're frustrated because we're upset we didn't get that car park. We're upset because of the way that relationship ended. We're upset for that loss. You have to consciously navigate the feelings of healing and grief and anger and all of those things. But if you want to get into flow, that was the question, accept what is and start to have an attitude of gratitude for the lessons it's teaching you and the blessings that you got from the experience. Accept what is a big one. Many people are typing in accept what is. Beautiful. So that's the lesson for today. How do you get into flow? Accept what is and do the work. And don't point the finger and don't blame others. So I hope that was beneficial. Yes, I know that I give too much sometimes. I'm starting a 3-day fast and taking control of what bothers me. Great! The more people do that, the more conscious we are as a human race. The more we take responsibility for our conscious and unconscious feelings, behaviors, beliefs, and actions, I think the more responsible the planet will experience us to be, and therefore we have a greater ability to respond in more conscious ways. Andrew saying, I am going to be disciplined to do at least 30 minutes except use every day, not just 3 days, etc. Read the Miracle Morning, about to start reading. Thank you, Tanja. Good stuff. You're so welcome, Andrew. Action. If you just tune into this and you have a cup of tea and we go, yay, hashtag tea with Tanja Lee, and you go back to your own ways, you haven't utilized this time to the best of your ability. Please hear something for yourself and implement it. Immediate action is what, when I decided to fast for 14 days, I didn't think about it for a month. I didn't navel gaze and contemplate. I made a decision, and the next day I was fasting. I was prepared. I went and did what I needed to do. But the most successful people who get into flow don't hang out in victim town toasting misery marshmallows seeking significance. They have an awareness, they do the work, they actually take responsibility, they move their body, they meditate, they get into immediate action, and therefore they have a different experience as a result. Exercise, I thought that's what you meant, Andrew. Awesome. Amy, I'm just going to get through this. Yes, you can. But do it with self-love too, okay? I'm going to move my body and accept what is, says Catherine. Great. Thank you so much for your help, Tanja. Did not realize I was resisting so much. You are so welcome. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, this is free, Leading Life and Business Coaching. I do it because I love you. I do it because it's my purpose. I do it because I want you to heal and release the past, get clear about your passion and purpose, and become masterful at manifesting that which is your heart's desire right here, right now. Thank you for spending your precious and generous time with me. Remember, Friday next week, we'll be on here again. You're so welcome, Pam. Do you have a date as to when your podcast will be released? Oh, thank you for holding me accountable. Yes, within the next 2 weeks. Artwork is done. Graphic designer is working on it at the moment. I've chosen the music. My podcast producer's ready to go. So within the next 2 weeks, I will let you know. Yes, Christy's been asking too. Please tune in. Friday is Q&A Friday. So if you have a particular question you want answered, then type it in, DM me or message me on Instagram, and know that I'm here for you. And if you find this morning session valuable, then please share it with someone that you think would also benefit from it. There's no upsell, there's no snake charmer, free set of steak knives. It's just me and you with your screen, a lot of love, and hopefully some lessons that can support you in getting on to the next phase of your life. Just remember to accept what is, and that will have you back in flow. I love you. Please be a devotee. Fill your cup with self-love, and then you can share what spilleth over, and go brew you. I love you. Thanks for tuning in. See you Friday. Mandy Wilson, I love you too. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon, guys. Much love. Take care.